He was in San Francisco, where they didn't have any gas problems at all. And from what I've seen, yes, it appears to be fairly I mean...
Because I got 3.5 gallons left.
I think you'll have no problem. Okay. Everything I've seen is...
Yeah, in our area, you're good.
Okay.
And, that was so much ado about nothing. I went to Myrtle Beach for White Boy Weekend, as you know.
I can tell.
We can tell by the gravelly voice.
You must have held court.
You should have heard him, Biggie. I mean, an hour ago, coughing, sneezing.
Yeah.
God.
If we could just get Israel and Palestine to the table, I'll do the rest. Just get him to the table. I'll do the rest.
I actually said that on the air on Thursday. You missed that too. I was already feeling myself. And by the time
pre-buzz,
yeah, a little pre-buzz, and by the time we got down there, I did it all. I solved
it all.
Get
him to the table. Can we get some drinks? Right.
I'm having some trouble. I mean, my body is I've broken down here.
Yeah.
I mean, a
lot of substances in there it's not used to.
Yeah, it's like kicking them out. God, what is this? What is that? I mean, it's difficult, and we played a lot of beach games, so I was going through the
strenuous.
Sand.
Yeah, a man of your age.
Strenuous, yes, a man of my age, and I did hold court, and I did say what should be done and what shouldn't be done, and then of course with the gas, everybody hoarding gas. Chris Demm contributed as he was getting onto the plane to the airport. He said, by the way.
This is what, 5 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah. On Thursday, he said there's one lady who was not having it. She was talking about the hoarding of, first it was butt wipes back when the pandemic started, and then it was gasoline.
They were hoarding the butt wipe, now they're going to hoard the gas.
She's a jewel. In a time of crisis.
She is.
Come on, America. Do it for her.
That's the one. That's the woman.
They were hoarding the butt wipe, now they're going to hoard the gas.
That's right.
She's my favorite.
That's what Kelly's laugh will sound like today.
She sounds like. That's what I sound like today. We're running out of steam. We're both running out of gas. And, got down to Myrtle Beach. Remember, my plan was, as we got closer, the last store I saw, gas station, I would fill up. Well, we saw one about, 30 miles outside of town, and there were plenty of people crowded around. It was crowded. And I said, I'm not stopping. Let's just go right on through, and let's just see. Let's just see what happens, So we got down there and getting ready to get into the condo and everything, and there were people had called and said, there's no gas here, man. There's no gas here. This was Thursday, and they were right. I saw none once you got onto the Grand Strand, But on Friday, woke up early, got about within 10 seconds. So right after I got on Highway 17, there were 4 or 5 gas stations right there. Just filled up right then and never had to worry about it again. So it did not become a thing, because I was concerned that it would be like, oh God, are we going to have to start back with a quarter tank of gas and pray that somewhere along the line I get
Trent, you're going to have to do something that I didn't think I'd have to ask you to do.
That's right.
Have you ever seen that documentary about the Fire Festival?
He's a new guy.
I need you to, since you're the newest member of the club, I need you to take one for the team, as it were.
We're going to have to do this.
We have to get home, Trent. That man in that shop says he'll give us his last 3 gallons, but
you have to do something you probably never expected you would have to do. You're going to have to do this.
Look, we've all done it. That's right. Look, everyone is a newbie at one point.
You have to. You're the
noob.
This is your first year. This is your first year.
Have you ever seen the show Oz?
Yeah.
It's about prison, but besides that, there's a lot of man-on-man action.
The first year he was going on White Boy Weekend, and we just turned all eyes to him.
Yeah.
Luckily, we avoided that situation. And you know that.
How do you think the noob felt about the whole experience? Is he looking forward to it, or was he horrified?
I think he was a little of both, but I think he fit in very well.
And say, did he hold his own?
He did. He knew a lot about movies and a lot about sports, which is all we talked about.
Did he ever make a move toward the door to go anywhere? Strip club, golf course, restaurant?
No. So he did fit in.
It doesn't happen.
We told him, you're not to go anywhere.
You're locked in.
It was pizza, pizza, pizza. Bam, bam, bam. That's it. And only one place would deliver. Hungry Howies was the only place.
Really?
Yes, Hungry Howies was it. Unless we were going to use DoorDash, whatever.
Yeah.
And none of us, all of us like, nah, we don't know how to do that. So it's got to be some delivery. We had no idea what to do.
Yeah.
So we went with
I bet you were the talk of the Hungry Howies.
3
Hey,
nights.
man, these guys have ordered 2 nights in a row. That's a bunch of white guys. I think it's a suicide pact or something.
He ordered 3 Hawaiians one night.
We did too.
Yeah.
I was the only one that was even able to do it on my phone. And by the time it was all done, one of us is a little more behind the times. The Diesel. It was like, well, all right, you owe me this money, you owe me this money, you owe me this money. And they were immediately, both the other two were like, just Venmo'd it to you, just Venmo'd it to you. Diesel, I don't know. I'll have to write.
Do you take personal checks?
That's what he says. I'll write
Do you
you.
have change for 100?
I'll write you a check.
Apparently, there's a new one, Zelle.
My wife
that's
has
catching
it.
on.
My wife has it.
Oh, really?
She is.
I haven't heard of this.
She's a first. She's
an
an
early
early
adapter,
adapter.
Adopter, yeah.
All those things. She told us about Venmo before anybody had heard of Venmo.
Yeah.
And everybody on that trip went, yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'll
No.
never do it. Now they all have it.
They mocked her.
They did. Now they all have it. She prefers Venmo to PayPal, and she does have Zelle, which apparently younger college students use, and she's got that also. Right on it.
She was years ahead of that.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, and now I use Venmo all the time.
Well, on Venmo, it was because we would go on a couple's weekend, and by the end of it, it was like, okay, you owe somebody $113.21, and nobody
No one has
that.
nobody brought their checkbook or anything. So she told everybody about it, and the entire chorus came back, nah, boo,
Yep.
not doing it, and then they wound up doing it.
Yeah.
We were out on the beach, and I first of all started preaching about Israel and Palestine.
Okay.
And then
I just got to get him to the table.
and then I got onto the mask mandates, gas shortages, vaccines. I was
All on the first day?
Oh.
bam, bam, bam. And then I was just knocking them out of the park. And baseball and how that should be.
The draft.
The draft. All of it. Movies, why this is better.
Everything.
Music, I did it all. I did. And in the
Why they're not watching the shows that you are.
of course, and what they should be watching. And what was it? Oh, Trent said he would never watch La La Land. And I told him, get out of my face.
Trent.
Who does he think he is?
And The Crown, too. He's like, I'm never going to watch The Crown.
Well, I said that, but I was wrong. It's
of course
great.
you're wrong. I told
It is great.
I got up in his face like, yeah, you out of your mind.
Listen, there's a queenie inside you. Let her out.
There's a queenie in all of us.
Then you know what he did? You know what Trent did that really shocked all of us? We were down on the beach. It got to be pretty hot one day. And he just stripped his shirt off, and all of us were like, what are you doing?
We don't do that here. Clothes
He didn't go in
on.
the water, did he?
He did a few times. He went in the water a few times.
Just to pee?
Just to pee, but he was out there, up to the chest, and the water was freezing. I always tiptoed back to the condo to pee, and
Yeah.
he's like, "I'm going in," and he'd strip his shirt off, and we all just looked at him like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing
Are you
this?"
crazy?
He's like, "Hey, man, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It's not like I'm trying to impress anybody." I said, "That's good because you're not." I got nobody to impress. You're darn right you don't. In the middle of it, our governor. The mask mandate was relaxed, and some of these stores now it caused some confusion. Actually, one night we did go out for Five Guys burgers. Okay, went over to Five Guys, and they had relaxed the mask mandate. It said on the door, we no longer require masks.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Trent, and we walked in with no mask, but everybody else in the store had on a mask.
Did they?
They all looked at us like, what are you doing? But, it was on the window, and we just didn't do it. I didn't take them in, and I was like, I'm okay. I did this. And apparently that's happening in a lot of places that you don't have
it's
to wear.
it's a patchwork.
Yeah, it's a strange thing now. It's like, well, can you really? I do think that, I didn't have any fear of it, of going in there without a mask, but a lot of people just keep them on, and they seem to be still uncomfortable with
Well, and
not
every
wearing.
place is different. Like, I still help out Marcos sometimes.
Yeah, the
we
pizza.
were immediately got an email saying we still have to wear them in the store.
Employees.
Yeah.
How about customers?
As of right now, we still have the signs up saying please wear it in. But I don't think anyone's going to be,
It's changed soon.
exactly.
The stores that immediately dropped their mask mandate: Costco, Publix, Sam's Club, Sprouts, Starbucks, Trader Joe's, and Walmart immediately said, okay, good, no more masks. Others are hanging on to them. CVS, Home Depot, Kroger, Macy's, Target, Walgreens, Winn-Dixie, all kept theirs. But then I bet they're gone soon, within a week or two, I would guess. But people still seem to be wearing them, so we'll see how long it takes us to get out of that. I mean, it's good news, I guess, that we don't have to wear them anymore. But I think...
And, of course, it's all in your local city ordinance still, too. And
yeah, they can do that.
there's lots of that.
They supersede. It's always like... And the store, I guess, can still have a policy, even if the governor relaxes their policy. I don't know. It's a strange time. I was all over it on the beach. You can you know that. And yeah, I'm a little gravelly today.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to take me some time. My lips are chapped. I did the sunscreen. I just sprayed it up in the air and walked through it, for my face. I didn't put any on the face. And one day I didn't even put up an umbrella because it wasn't that hot. And it was just a nice... It was
just baked?
Just baked out there for a while, yeah. Enjoyed it very much. It's another example of how I never noticed stuff. On Thursday, Chris Demm wasn't here Thursday. And our boy B.B. Shea filled in, and he had a meeting with some brewers with beer, and he brought in a case of these really cool beers, different like craft beers.
Yeah.
And he put them on
literally, they look like really small batch.
Yeah.
Yes. So he put them on our desk. I think this is after you left on Wednesday. He came in on Wednesday, and he said, "I just met with some group, and here are some awesome beers," and he wanted Dave to have some, and Biggie and Chris Demm, and I was like, all right, let's put them right there. So he put them down. Now, Chris Demm hadn't been here since then. So he comes in today and says, "Where'd these beers come from?" And I said, I don't know. I don't know what that is. And he goes, "Well, who brought them in?" I said, "Well, BB Shea." And he goes, "Well, who gave them to him?" And I said, "I don't know." And he said, "Well, who are they for?" And I said, "I don't know." I have no idea.
See, I didn't, Kelly got into the office before I did. So when I came in, the beers were just sitting there. I assumed they were left over from the weekend.
No, they were not.
Because they looked like your boys' beers.
No, they were not. No, they were. In fact,
you just don't care.
I don't look around. Chris Demm
unless
said,
you can fix it.
I don't care. And then Chris Demm was in California, in Northern California, and said, "You would not believe how many Teslas were out there." And I thought to myself, if I had been in Northern California, I would not have noticed that. I don't notice that there are those things.
You don't notice that.
Yeah. Yesterday on the way home, somebody said, "Oh, there's a Tesla beside us." I was like, I had no idea.
You don't care about that stuff?
I don't care about that stuff. Do you know that while I was at the gas, this is about the gas again, and people were hoarding gas.
They were hoarding the butt what? Now they're going to hoard the gas.
To me, her laugh is that's what really is the cherry on top of the sundae there. She was fantastic on that. People were hoarding gas to the point they were putting it in plastic bags, garbage bags to take.
I saw those pictures.
You see that?
Aren't they like 2 years old?
I think they're fake.
I hope they're fake.
Surely nobody really.
I don't know if they're fake, but they're not from this past week.
I cannot believe that somebody would put.
Yeah.
But when did it happen 2 years ago?
I read some fact checker said it was from 2019. I don't even know if it was in the U.S.
I hope not. I mean, come on, into garbage bags. I heard about it, saw the pictures.
Yeah.
That does seem a little over the top, especially since nobody ever ran completely out of gas. You could find it at some point. But anyhow, I was passing a gas station that had gas in Myrtle Beach. Now, about half of them did, half of them didn't. And it was a 3-lane highway. It's like it's Highway 17. And so I'm coming back one day, and somebody beside me on my left decides to turn all the way across my lane, and I'm having a wreck. I mean, he turned in, and I thought, this is a wreck.
Yeah.
I don't know how I didn't wreck. He was so desperate to get to the gas, And I laid on that horn.
I would have too, yeah.
I stopped and went over as far as I could. I had no room, no place to go, and laid on the horn. And I literally thought, I've wrecked, and now I'm dead, and this is an alternate universe, and I'm not really here, and everybody else is dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I thought. Not that I would have been killed in the accident because we weren't going very fast, but I thought, how I didn't wreck, I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'm dead, and now they're all mourning me.
Did he make any motions of any kind?
No, and I gave him the finger, and I sure did. I laid on the horn and gave him the finger. I mean, it was just ridiculous. I was that close to a wreck. Sorry to vent about it, but by golly, when that happens to
People
you,
lose their mind.
And it was all about getting gas, which he could have gotten in there,
of course,
and gotten gas. I mean, come on, he didn't have to do all of that. So that's all I have. Now, how was San Francisco? That's the big question here.
Well, honestly, we landed in San Francisco.
That's enough.
I can't stand that city. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never been to San Francisco.
We only landed there. I mean, we spent most of the time in Marin County and Napa. But so our friends, West Coast Bob got married, and the wedding had been postponed twice.
Yes,
because of COVID.
Yes,
and it ended up being 19 people in their home, which is beautiful. on their back deck,
Yes.
sunsetting behind it.
Beautiful.
They asked me to be the officiant.
Yes.
So San Francisco is cold.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. And apparently since the pandemic, I talked to a young lady who lives out there. She works out there. And she was at the wedding. And apparently she said that, since so many people left the city during the pandemic, so many businesses closed.
Mm-hmm.
The homeless people have just...
They have a bad homeless population.
always heard that about
But now it's like times 10. And
Really?
I mean, if you look under, because on the way to and from the airport,
Mm-hmm.
you look under any overpass, under any bridge, or sometimes just even sides of the roads,
Mm-hmm.
you can't imagine the size of these homeless encampments.
Really?
Blue tarps, some of them have
sad.
tents, some of them have campers, some of them have cars.
It's terrible.
But it's just, blankets, mattresses,
Yeah.
Mhm.
just the usual.
And
And,
they
it's a cold city.
Yeah.
San Francisco is cold.
And haven't they had the problem where people defecate on the streets and have problems with that, right?
They do. What would you say?
I would say,
Imagine you're drunk on a beach.
clean it up. Clean them up.
There you go.
Get them out of here. I would say to them, don't you want a warmer climate? Can I interest you in San Diego? Can we get you down to San Diego if
Yeah.
I was in San Francisco?
Look, put the ocean on your right.
Yeah,
Start walking.
Go. That's what I would. It's a nice walk, I'm sure.
Listen, I'm here to help.
Now, I want to help you.
It's a spectacular view.
Yeah, it's a great view, and you're going to get down to L.A. or San
Eventually.
Diego. And to me, it's a better place to be. If you're homeless, you don't want to be in San Francisco. Like you said, it's cold, it's windy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very drafty. The weather is unpredictable.
Yeah.
I would go Southern California for sure.
Yeah, springtime in San Francisco is cold.
It's freezing.
Because a lot of the people from the wedding were from the East Coast, who'd grown up with the bride and the groom. They both grew up in Virginia.
Yeah.
And so they would go into San Francisco for the day in May, and evidently they don't have phones and check the weather because they were dressed, in shorts and T-shirts.
It's freezing.
And it is freezing.
What did it? Last week, Willie Mays turned 90 years old, and Pete Rose said he would have been a lot better ball player if he didn't have to play in that horrible ballpark in San Francisco.
Yeah, he called it a dump or something.
Well, he
whatever
called it an S-hole.
Yeah,
he
that's
said
right.
this S-hole ballpark because it's always windy, always cold. It was brutal, and he would have been a better hitter if he'd played anywhere else.
Yeah,
but
his numbers would have been more impressive.
and everybody hated going to San Francisco.
Yeah.
By the way, you can pay Pete Rose $89 a month. He'll tell you every game to bet on. I just read that. He's doing a new service now. $89 a month.
Worth it?
I've not checked into it yet, but he will tell you his bets if you give $89 a month.
What a guy.
Does he just pick baseball games?
No, I think he does other sports too. But mostly
Does he
baseball.
pick the ponies?
Yeah, he'll do them all. He'll do
I mean,
all
like
those.
the NBA playoffs?
Yes, he'll do all of that stuff for you. $89 a month, and he'll tell you, here are my picks. He gives you his picks. One of the Major League Baseball commissioner, Rob Manfred, said, I wish Pete wouldn't do this. And he said, too bad. This is what I'm doing.
I think we've played it with Pete enough on the Hall of Fame deal. I think now he's like, screw you.
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
doing
they're,
it.
they're both just giving each other the finger.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
not giving it. And Pete says, I got to make a living.
Yeah.
I got to figure out an $89 a month.
Yeah.
That seems like a high.
Caesars was closed for a long time.
Yeah. I think it should be a little more like $10 a month to get your all of Pete Rose.
Yeah.
Doesn't guarantee victory. It doesn't
No, that's
guarantee
a high
win.
price.
Yeah, absolutely. Two Will Hardo is on. He has a comment on San Francisco. Two Will Hardo, good to hear from you as always.
Yeah, I've been there before. Naturally, I hate it, but I have one of my best friends is a lesbian, and she went out there one time for a pride parade. And she said that they're so unfazed by the homeless in San Francisco that she was standing on the sidewalk outside of her hotel, and she just spit onto the ground. And this gay guy walked by, and he was like, "Oh my God, that's disgusting." And she said 6 feet away from her, there was a homeless dude at the same time taking a crap on the sidewalk. He said nothing. And she was like, there's literally a man crapping on the ground right there. You're worried about me spitting on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I have heard about San Francisco. That and it's gorgeous. Those are the
both
things.
are
That's
true.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Two Wheel Hardo. That's a good story. That's and Trent said on the way down to the beach, he's like, "Where's Chris Demm?" I said, "He's going to San Francisco." He said, "That's one
Living
of
his truth.